Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you are doing well. So this week's Parsha is Nasso. This is Benjamin's Bar Mitzvah Parsha. So it's like 10 years, close to 10 years since his Bar Mitzvah. Crazy stuff. Okay, so Parshat Nasso is the second Parsha in the book of Bamidbar, of Numbers. So in last week's Parsha, Bamidbar, the first of this book of Numbers, we have a census. But as we discussed, it was just a census of men ages 20 to 50. And it also excluded the tribe of Levi, the Levites. So firstly, we discussed last week that the census was done for the purpose of counting how many soldiers we would have. So men ages 20 to 50 are the people who are eligible to be soldiers. So that's why women and children and the Levites were excluded. But even further, why were the Levites excluded in the first place? So if you remember, back in a past story, the story of the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, there were a few groups who did not participate in the building of this golden calf. That was the Leviim, the people from the tribe of Levi. This was Levi, the son of Yaakov, of Jacob. The Levites did not participate, and the women also didn't participate. So the women's reward for not participating in the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, was that Rosh Chodesh became their holiday. So Rosh Chodesh is like the thing for women, great. And what the Leviim got, I think they got a little better end of the deal. The Leviim got the priesthood. Also, if you remember, that Moshe and Aaron, Moses and Aaron, were from the tribe of Levi. So, because they were from this tribe, they were also considered the high priests. So again, Aaron is the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, and so he's from the tribe of Levi, and so he gets to be the high priest because he's from the tribe of Levi, and also he's just special. So everyone in the tribe of Levi has a special job. There are really are four groups of people in the tribe of Levi. So we know that we have, if you've ever heard someone say like, oh, is anyone a Kohen here? Is anyone a Kohen here? They're asking if you are a descendant of Aaron, not just if you're a descendant of Levi, because again, Aaron is from the tribe of Levi. They're asking specifically, are you a descendant of Aaron? If you're a descendant of Aaron, you are both a Levi and a Kohen, but the Kohen thing is a little more special. So then the next thing, if you hear at a Shul, they're going to say, anyone a Levi, anyone a Levi? And that's what they're asking is, are you a descendant of the tribe of Levi? So again, Kohanim are within the tribe of Levi, but we have a few other special jobs that people in the other groups have. So there are the three groups we talk about. So the first one is introduced in the end of last week's Parsha, but the second two are talked about in this week's, in Nasso. So the first most lofty group is Bnei Kehati, the Kehatites. So their job is to transport the Aron Habrit, the Ark of the Covenant, this heavy box that has the two tablets from Har Sinai, from Mount Sinai, the 10 Commandments. The box has these 10 Commandments in it. So it's their job to physically transport it, as well as the menorah that's in the Holy of Holies, the Kodesh Kodeshim, the Mishkan, the Holy Temple that we have in the desert, as well as the table that's used for the showbread, the bread that's put on as part of the ritual for giving sacrifices. And then also the altar, the incense altar. So the altar that's used for incense offerings. Again, like nice smells offerings, that sort of thing. Okay, so that is like the most impressive, most important job. But if we think about it, the Aron Habrit, the Ark of the Covenant, should be really heavy. We have it described in many parshiot in the book of Vayikra, in Leviticus, about how it's made of a hand breadth of gold. It's crazy heavy. So are they doing backbreaking work? Like this high and mighty, lofty group, why are they doing this backbreaking work? So we learn in the Talmud, our sages say that the Aron isn't heavy. In fact, it carries those who carry it. So what does this mean? The Aron is both in the physical world and in the spiritual world. So maybe it weighs half of what it actually does because it exists on both planes. Because again, this is like this holy object. It has the 10 Commandments in them. It's the center of the Holy of Holies, the Kodesh Kodeshim within the Mishkan, and then also within the Beit HaMikdash in Jerusalem once the Jews get to the land of Israel. So Bnei Kehati is important. Okay, then the lowly group is Bnei Merari, the Merarites. So Bnei Merari are the physical laborers. They carry the planks and the things that make up the physical tabernacle. So they carry it back and forth, and they're simple people. That's their job. The Bnei Kehati, they're like the lofty people. Bnei Merari, they're not lowly, they're still special, but they don't have such a special job. And then in the middle, we have Bnei Gershoni. Bnei Gershoni, what is there left to do? If the lofty stuff is done, and the like tangible small stuff is done, what does B'nai Gershoni do? B'nai Gershoni does everything in between. So folding up things, tying ropes, whatever. They kind of just fill in for the rest. Okay, so all three of these groups are special. Like we said, they didn't participate in the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. So they get this reward. They get to have these special jobs. But we still have hierarchy within them. So what does that teach us? That even at the very top, there is still a hierarchy, that it's can be lonely at the top, even if you are, in the special group, but you aren't the highest in the special group. And then also just to recognize that there's always going to be someone who is higher stature than we are. So if you are a Levi, you might be B'nai Merari, which means you're lowly. You might be B'nai Gershoni, where you're the middle. You may be B'nai Kehati, but there's still going to be the Kohanim. And then even if you're a Kohen, there's always going to be the Kohen Gadol. So fine, the Kohen Gadol is like he actually is the guy at the top of the food chain. But in general, we just learned that there's always someone above us, there's always someone below us, but that it takes all kinds. And it doesn't matter, it really does depend on the context. Who you are in one area of your life is different than who you are in a different area of your life. Again, I talked about this in my email this week, but I have a ridiculous amount of knowledge about Broadway. It is useless in most situations, but if I went to Broadway trivia night, I would slay. I would. But then if I take that knowledge to, like taking the LSAT or the MCAT, I would not slay. Without a question, I would not do well. So it just depends on the context. So it's important for us to remember there's always someone above us, always someone below us. And that it's important to recognize that our talents, they are consistent, even if we are in different situations, that our talents remain with us, and that we should be grateful for such things. This week we also get the Birkat HaKohanim, the priestly blessing that parents say for their children on Shabbat. So there's three parts of this blessing. The first part is, may God bless you and keep you. The second part is, may God shine his countenance upon you. And the third one is, may God lift you up and grant you peace. Okay, so there are some commentaries on this, that this is maybe an allegory or an analogy for parenting. So when children are very young, they need to be, may God bless you and keep you. May God guard you and keep you. Babies they have to have everything done for them. There's nothing, parents have to do everything for a child. So, when we're young and we're vulnerable, parents take care of us. Then, may God shine his countenance upon you. The word used is panav elecha. Elecha, like, it's not like, it's elecha, like on you, sort of like on the same level. There's a point in life where parents they're at like, sort of like a peer level with their children. They're able to have conversations with them. They realize that their children have thoughts of their own, and only because of the parents. And then the third one, may God lift you up, and may God grant you peace. This is when parents set their children free. They let them out of the nest. And at some point, parents will look up to their children in a way. So I thought this was a cool idea. Thanks so much, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, and I will be here next week, God willing.